Good evening, and welcome to the Haynes Total Healthcare Coaches Call-In Show, presented by Southern Ohio Sports Authority and Ohio Health. My name is John Bruce, along with Matt Hoops and the Collins family. Okay, so David, Senior, do you want to name him?
Yep, I got it for you. So, I'm David. This is Michelle. Our oldest is Avery, and then we have Bristol, and then David. Then we have Charlie, and Ellie, and Finley. Then we got the twins, Gabriel and Gideon.
Okay, so I'm going to ask that. Do you know them apart yet?
We do.
All right.
That's about it.
Okay. Because I know he's coached a bunch of twins, and I know the first ones I remember were the boards, and it was like one was left-handed, one was right. The right-handed one swept his hair this way. That was the only way. That was the only way for the first year of me figuring it out. So, obviously, we're on here for the Haynes Total Healthcare Center overall. The Collins family uses them a lot, so we'll kind of start with that. So, with Gabriel and Gideon, have they been there?
They have. They went, so they was in the hospital for a couple days. Come here. And as soon as we got out of the hospital, Brandon said, bring them in. And right away, he went in, started with adjustments. It's a big difference. You can tell when they need adjusted. A lot of spit up going on. They don't keep their body on as good. Diapers kind of don't go as good. But as soon as they get that adjustment, it's like everything's back to normal and they're good to go.
And that was one of the things he had said. It's a lifetime thing. He had told us before when he'd been on here, like that he had his kids get adjusted since they were little. Yeah. And like I'd never talked to someone that I knew for sure had done it. So that's very interesting, especially the fact that they do it as early as they do.
Yeah. We started with Avery. We actually ran Brandon out at the Ross County Fair when they do that booth scan. And he saw her. She was 3 months old at the time. And he scanned Michelle and said, "Oh, you need to come here and see me." And he's like, I do kids too. He's like, "Oh, no, you can chiropractor kids." And he's like, "Oh, yeah." So I brought her in, and she had some, he called torticollis, which her neck kind of slid to the side. He said, "I can fix that." And a couple of visits, she was right back. And it's like, "Well, you got us for life now." So
So when you say for life, obviously it starts at a young age. So all of you guys have gone, right? Do you guys all, is it just something that you just know, hey, this is a normal thing for you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then when you make it a normal thing, that just makes it to where it's a it helps you. It's a lifelong thing,
and for sure.
Yeah,
it just becomes a really healthy habit.
Yeah.
I mean, just like anything else, your diet, exercise, and this is part of it.
Right.
As you guys, the younger kids, can you tell when you need an adjustment if you haven't been recently, or can you guys feel that in your own body?
Yes.
You feel better afterwards?
Yes.
I know Finley. You can tell when she needs it. Her toes will go from pointing out, and they'll start pointing in when she's walking. And Brandon can see it automatically, and he does one adjustment, and her foot's right back to normal. It's crazy how much of a difference and improvement you can see in the kids overall.
Well, then that's something that that can work with your hips for your whole life, where that's one of those small issues that could turn into a bigger one as well. So, as a mother, how much does it help you to just go in there and take care of yourself?
It definitely helps out with headaches and all sorts of stuff. I can tell when I'm out. It helps labor go easier as well. So it's good to get back in there. Postpartum too, as soon as I get the clearance.
So how long does it normally take postpartum to get in there and get the clearance?
Naturally, I've went back in like usual. He might not do everything.
Right.
C-section takes a little longer.
Then, so you guys are you guys are very involved with Huntington and the athletics. So can you, this is the part we talked about a little bit out there that just kind of blew my mind. So what all do you do out at Huntington?
So I am the assistant 8th grade girls basketball coach. I'm the assistant varsity softball coach. And then I coach their 3rd grade and 4th grade girls basketball team. I coach his 2nd grade basketball team. And then you might see me doing a little bit of announcing, a little bit of scorekeeping, ticket taking, whatever needs done around the school. Normally, we're there to do it.
Yeah, that's one of the cool things about like high school sports or just local school sports is you get people that are so involved. And obviously, I think you're going to be involved for at least 18 more years.
Yeah, well,
So hopefully the people at Huntington, which I know they treat you guys really well.
Well,
and, yeah.
When I came through Huntington and was growing up, you had people like Milt Kello, Todd Kello, Justin Kello, who was my best friend that we do anything for, and which actually they just had twin boys a month after or a couple weeks after we did, and but you have good people, Bud Lytle, Brian Smith, just work for the Huntington kids. Just it's a township, and the more you put into it, the more you get out of it. The kids, that's why we do everything we do. Is just somebody did it for me when I was little, so we try to push that back in.
Yeah, I mean, you just mentioned all those names and families, and each school district has those, and I think it's what's really makes this area so unique is you have people that are they're in it for the right reasons. They're trying to make their programs and their school better, not only for your kids, but the future that's coming, and like you said, just kind of giving back. And obviously with Dr. Haynes, I feel like he does a little bit of that in terms of everyone. It's just not one school district. He reaches out and he wants to make sure all the athletes in Ross County, and it's just those are the type of people like yourself, that make it a great place to grow up and live.
Yep, you're exactly right. Exactly right.
Yeah, and then it's those people, and you're going to continue to make an impact for other people's lives because you also teach, right?
Right. I teach. So I don't teach at Huntington. I subbed to Huntington for a couple of years, but I teach at Pike Christian. But even as a teacher, I mean, I've got 8 kids that come home to. Like, why are you teaching? You're going to get other kids every day. Well, it's not about. I love pouring into people.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was raised at home with your life is a life of service. You give back and you do for others, and you're going to get that back. You're going to get that back in return. So.
Well, then, was it your sister, Braden?
Braden, yeah, that's my sister.
Decent athlete.
Yeah.
So, so we all know the Collins family. I think we may have. I think you're a couple years younger than me, so I may have coached.
I graduated in 08.
Yeah. So I remember watching you a little bit. And when you mentioned Justin and Josh and big twin thing out there at the township.
There must be something in the water.
It's one of those things where you remember seeing these people, and it's really fun to see now that you have your own, that here in a few years we're going to be seeing the Collins name a lot more around the township and whatnot. So we talked a little bit about how you guys got here out there. So how organized do you guys have to be?
So we both have a calendar on our phones, and as soon as something pops up with the kids, it goes straight in our calendars. There's something we do every night. We practice Monday through Saturday, games on Saturdays and Sundays. If we're not at practice, we're at one of the other varsity games or different things that are going on at home that we can pitch in and help out at. And I think we live in the gym. Everybody kind of knows where the kids' spots are and where they're going to sit, and
Organized chaos.
it's organized chaos. It is. That's a good way to put it.
And we have a lot of help.
Yeah,
Well, the having the help is
We have
We have the help.
It's nothing for one of our nice close families and come. Hey, you want us to take one of the kids and go sit? Oh yeah, sure. They'll come take them, just set up in the bleachers with us, and it's nice that there's people that you have that you can trust to do that.
Yeah.
It comes. I know it's other schools too, but Huntington in particular, we're just a big community family.
Yeah.
So everybody, you see, you better behave because I'm gonna see your dad tonight. So.
Yeah, so this is by far the most people we've had in the new Chillicothe Valley Sports Card studio.
Well, I don't think we could have done it in the old one.
No, we couldn't. There's no
the
way.
other studio we wouldn't have fit.
It was back to about here, so the kids would have been like sitting on the table. And if you watched us move this table in, they ain't gonna be able to sit on the table for long. It'd be no matter how small they are. Maybe these two could have. But, so with just being organized, having the community and the chiropractic care, just how much do you guys just love your situation right now? Because obviously, a lot of young kids. So how old's the oldest again?
Oldest is 10. Avery's 10.
Yes.
And then we got the boys that are 2 months.
All right, so 10 to 2 months.
Yeah.
You got 8 of them.
Yeah.
Obviously, you guys had to just have a great family life and everything. So
I'm the oldest of 5. So I mean, she has a sister. So a big family for her is kind of she's kind of shell shocked. But I love every minute of it. It's the best thing in the world. I've always wanted to be a dad, and
you've done it a few times.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I got a question. When you guys go get adjusted, is it all at once?
Yeah.
So if you've ever been to
Yeah.
Haynes Chiropractic,
Yeah. How do you?
those
That was my
little
next
rooms,
question. Yeah.
Before the twins came along, we fit in it pretty fine. It was okay. It was tight.
Yeah.
Brandon always said, "I want to take a picture. This is gonna be great. It's a great business picture." And then we got the boys, and we kind of outgrew the room.
Yeah.
So sometimes we get to sit in Brandon's office, and he comes and gets us, and sometimes they just take us straight back. So, but we all go in and we sit in this little room, and we get going from there. We normally start with, where's she at? Ellie normally, or Charlie normally always wants to go first.
How long does it take?
To get all 10 of us done, 20 minutes, 25 minutes, something like that. Maybe
Probably
more.
there half hour.
Yeah.
Well, then when you go to the Haynes Total Health Care Center, if you haven't been there, the people, like the support staff is outstanding as
Yeah.
well. So I bet they love when you
Yeah.
guys are coming in.
So
And
you walk in and you see Carla at the desk. She always greets you. And then you've got the nice receptionist on the way out. And Ashley always comes out and greets us and plays with the kids and always gets hugs and stuff from them. So they're all very. And then Cassie, we didn't get to talk about Cassie, but Cassie for physical therapy is wonderful. She's one of the best ones that I've ever been to. I know she fixed my ankle up and got me back going where I was going. So the whole place is just very welcoming, very friendly. It feels like a family atmosphere when you get there.
yeah, but it's, obviously with Brandon and Ashley it is, but you also have a lot of those other people. I know I didn't go for a long time, and I went back in. Just like I know they have the schedule, but they knew it was
Right,
like this.
yeah.
Hey, we haven't seen you for a while.
Right,
How have you been? And it's just like those little things make it to where it's you want to go back, and it's more of a welcoming
For sure.
environment.
That is for sure.
You got anything else?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
You guys have all done a great job.
Yeah, I'm impressed.
yeah.
We've this is definitely so probably the last time we have 10 and a half or 12 people on camera at the same time. But you guys, like, we came in here a couple minutes early just to kind of organize, and it took them like maybe a minute
Not
to
long.
get like fully organized, and that's really impressive. So
Must have just got adjusted.
yes. So we appreciate each and every one of you guys coming in. Do you guys have anything else?
We live in organized chaos, but it's a good time. It's the best thing. Very blessed and blessed to be able to do it.
Yes. So we appreciate all of you coming in. Once again, I'm not going to remember all the names, but David, Michelle, all of you, we appreciate you coming in. You're watching the Haynes Total Healthcare Coaches Call-In Show. We'll be back here in just a minute with a couple more guests in our studio. So just hang tight.
Have you experienced simply brilliant fiber internet? Yeah, that's Glow Fiber. Lightning fast internet that keeps up with your busy life. A reliable fiber to the home network whether you're working, learning, playing, or streaming. And best of all, Glow Fiber has real local support from real people who are happy to talk to you. And switch now for your first month free. Faster, more reliable fiber internet with real local support. Glow Fiber, simply brilliant.
At Chillicothe Comfort Heating and Air, your comfort is our priority year-round.
Whether it's blazing hot or freezing cold, we've got your back with fast, reliable service you can trust.
Locally owned, honest, and done right the first time.
We have financing options available for every budget as well as 60 months 0% interest.
Call us today and feel the difference that comfort makes.
Richard. Countless nights in the garage. 8 shiny new pistons. 1 very happy 16-year-old granddaughter. And 2 years since starting cancer treatment at Ohio Health.
All right, welcome back to the Haynes Total Healthcare Coaches Call-In Show, presented by Southern Ohio Sports Authority and Ohio Health. Have a few less people in here now, thanks to the Collins family. That was, as we said, like I don't think I've seen.
I think they got more organized than these two coming in here by themselves sitting down. I mean, they were on it. Like,
yeah, very, very impressive what they were able to do. So a couple things. We thank Glow Fiber for providing internet access here in the Chillicothe Sports Card studio. Along with Matt Hoops, he's a little closer-ish now. We have Milee Smith and Maggie Holbert from Unioto. We also have Coach Jeff Miller over yonder, which you can't get him on camera. I don't think you could switch to that one and even get him on. We have Christian Spradlin back there producing the show tonight. So we appreciate you guys coming in. And, just overall, 11-1 start to the season. But we kind of had to get to the first thing. So first things first, Milee, last night, 45 points, Unioto school record. And then you also broke the Aubrey-Ebelin's 31-year record for
career
points. So first off, congratulations.
Thank you.
Just when you have a first quarter like that with 25 points, is it just one of those like, hey, this is good. I feel good right now. Just how much do your teammates help you as well in that?
They helped me a lot. They were really unselfish last night, I feel like. But I've never had a game like that, so it was kind of like shocking.
So you had 45, right? I think my Coach Hoops, you had many more than I did, but I had more than 45 in my career, so I feel good about that, as opposed to just one game like you did. So
you spread yours out.
Yeah, mine. I was very spread out on when I scored my points. So in a game like that, when you break the record, obviously your family's there. Just can you just talk about how much fun it was for that?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a cool experience. Something that is just cool to have. But
and then Maggie, when you're playing with somebody, obviously you and Milee very close. Heard you guys honking at each other outside as you're pulling in. Obviously you're really close, but when you see a teammate having a game like that, just how much fun is that as a teammate?
I mean, it's really awesome because at first I didn't even know it was going to happen just because Milee's so humble about everything that we never even know when she's about to break a record or anything. But then as the game started going on, I realized she was just open for a lot of things. So there's a few times during the game of where I was like, just take it, don't pass it, because she's the type of person to think about others for herself too. So I was like, you just need to go out there and get this. So it's really great to finally see her achieve these things and have 2 in one night. It's very well deserved. So I was very proud of her.
Plus having it at home, that's always cool when you can do something like that at home. This one's for you too, Maggie. I played with two really, really good scorers in Mike Fout and Jason Cruz, and sometimes I would catch myself just standing and watching them go to work. Do you ever find yourself when Miley's going off like that you're just kind of just stand there watching almost as a fan, or I be honest, because I remember doing that, be like, oh my gosh, this is amazing just to see. And obviously as a fan, you're allowed to do that, but sometimes as a player, you just give it to her and some of the things that she can do. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, if you watch the game back last night, there's times of where it's I'm in the back of our pressure or whatever, and I didn't go past half court because I just know that she's going to take it to the rim and finish every time. There's so many times where I just stay back on defense because I know that she'll finish it or whatever.
And then I'll go run one more because we'll talk about some of your teammates here in a minute. But if we go back to the Circleville game, where they are completely trying to take away Milee and Kira. How much fun was that for you to just be you didn't even take very many shots and it just felt like you were kind of able to do whatever you wanted? How nice is it to have such good teammates to where maybe you get a little less attention and then you can just show off your skill set because you're so talented as well?
Yeah, I mean, having Milee and Kira, they're definitely 2 really good scorers. And whenever they take those teams away, it's nice for me just to be able to handle the ball because then it relieves pressure off them as well, and I find them open as well. So, I mean, it's just from being a part of the chemistry for so long, we've faced that so many times throughout a career that we know how to handle it now. So it's just really great to have this team with us.
Yeah, and then when you are as experienced as that, it does help. So, Milee, you guys have the 2 big games this weekend. Mm-hmm. So before we talk about anyone else, how much has it helped you to have those opportunities to play some of those really talented teams? I know you guys go to Cincinnati, Classic in the Country, Classic in the City. Just how much did those games? How amped do you get for those games?
I think it's exciting because not much teams around here get to play top teams in like the state of Ohio. So I feel like it's good for us, and it just gets our name out there a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
Just from a mindset, going into those type of games, Coach Miller and everyone always say rise to the occasion. How much do you feel like, without even thinking about it, you guys just step your game up whenever you guys step onto the court against teams like that?
I just feel like every game we have to come in there and just know what we can do, and I just feel like we have to be prepared and ready for it.
Go ahead.
I think that like whenever we play the big teams, it's like our chemistry comes out even more because whenever we play the teams around our area, it's just like I feel like it just becomes a different level whenever we play like the big city schools. We don't really know. I feel like sometimes that we underestimate ourselves and we don't really know like how we're gonna do going into it, and then we catch ourselves like actually getting into the groove and things. And
well, I think one of the things that it does is it allows you guys to maybe take on a different identity and be the underdog for once. You know what I mean? Your back's against the wall. No one really expects you to do anything. And then what that does is you even play even better than what you normally do. At least that's what I see.
Yeah.
I mean, last year whenever we played Purcell Marion, I mean, we got whooped, and that was kind of like one of our humbling experiences of like we don't really know like how well we are, but ever since then it seems like whenever we played the big city schools, it's like we go in not really expecting how we're gonna play, and then we get our groove, and we realize that we're there for a reason. And
right.
Well, I think, the good thing over the last 4 years, teams that played Purcell Marion, I think a lot of them had that because they were not bad. I mean, did they win 4 straight or is it 3?
I think it's 4.
Yeah. Jeff's just shaking his head.
Jeff says 4.
Yeah. So, yeah. So when you have a player like a D. Alexander, then the sisters they had were like, because you guys were tight in that game, and then all of a sudden the one sister hit like 6 threes. Yeah. So, I mean, so let's talk about some of your teammates. So Kiera, obviously you guys have known Kiera forever. She's been around the program with Coach Beard. Can you just talk about like how much she's grown as a player? Because you can just tell her confidence level is even higher than it was last year.
I think last year she felt like she had to prove herself, like prove her spot on varsity, but everybody knew that like she was capable of being that player, and I think she just had way too much like pressure on herself. But she's the player that deserves to be on varsity. She's a scorer. She's always been showing at every game. She's a shooter. She can do it all. And so I can definitely see a change from last year to this year, that she just has total confidence now, and that I think she can really see the trust in me and Milee and her and from the other teammates, and you can just see like her mood's more lightened up and she just seems happier on the court.
Yeah, that can elevate a player in a major way as well. And it seems like Charlotte's gotten a lot better throughout this year. Can you just talk about how much more confidence she seems to have offensively?
Yeah, I think it's the same thing with Charlotte too. I think she's gotten a lot better, more comfortable out there. She's definitely shown it though a lot more, but I feel like she's gotten a lot better with getting in her head. She doesn't really do that much anymore. So.
Are those conversations that you had with those two girls? Because obviously you guys were in their situation as well. I mean, were you able to kind of talk them through some of the things maybe they were going through last year?
I don't really think, we didn't really have conversations with them, but I think it's more of just like we created like a bond with them. We tried to make it to where upperclassmen and underclassmen, there's not a split. So we really tried to conjoin all of our grades together. And you can just see it with our group of girls, like Chloe Fisher, she's great about it. She's such a good role model for the younger kids, and they all really do look up to her. And I think it kind of rubbed off on me and Milee to like build that bond with Kiera and Kiera.
Even though you don't know her name, I hope she's not watching.
It's a joke.
Well, you mentioned that.
That's what I'm going to call her now.
And you mentioned Chloe, as Chloe doesn't get a ton of time, but you have to have those types of players. Like I know on one of our really good teams, like a Dalton Ford was one of those players as a senior, didn't play a ton, but was
a huge part of the team.
Yeah, huge part of the team, and you need those players to make the team better.
Right.
And obviously, I know you guys are mature anyway, but that was a really mature answer of like, we didn't want to have a split between the underclassmen and seniors because that sophomore class is really talented overall.
And let's face it, I mean, like you guys have, half a season left, and when you guys leave, Kiera and Charlotte are going to have the most experience returning, and they're going to have to kind of step into your guys' shoes and keep the program moving forward.
Yeah, then somebody like, just throw like an Aiden Dennison in there, like how much does her energy help in practice and just in games? Because it just feels like every time you see her, she's just always on and off the court, just tons of energy overall.
Yeah, she brings a lot of energy, and like she does get nervous, but I think she collects herself very well, and she just does what she needs to do. She knows her role. She knows that she might not be like the greatest scorer, the greatest ball handler, but she knows how to play defense, and she knows how to just hustle at all times, and she has total trust in us and everything, and her energy just rubs off on others, and she's very contagious with the way she is.
I think a lot of times what she does is defensively, she allows the offense to be easy for her because of how good she is defensively. Makes you guys' overall team defense and gives you guys easy baskets offensively.
Yeah, and then just go back to you, Milee, for a minute. Dayton. So can you tell us kind of how you decided on Dayton and kind of what you're looking forward to with that?
I know I wanted to go somewhere close to home, but I wasn't for sure yet. And I just feel like what really set me off was the coaching staff. They were really good. They always reached out to me every once a week probably. So I just felt like home going there.
Were they one of the schools that were in on you early?
Yeah, they were the very first school to offer me.
Okay.
Yeah. So did that mean even more, or is it I know you wanted to play close to home. Family's very important to you. But was it just hey, they saw me first, and then they were just they wanted you?
Yeah, I feel like that was really big because I was young and I haven't I wasn't I'm not at my full potential, and I still am, but they still believe in me, so I seen that as a huge thing. Take that. And
then have you got to see them play over at UD Arena?
Yeah, I've been there. I've been to 1 or 2 games this year. I'm gonna go to a few more though.
Yeah, I love that the state tournament's there, and it's a great arena anyway, so that should be really fun for you to play in, and it's not it's big, but it's not huge where at Ohio State it's, I don't even know what it's like. It's just so big.
It's empty.
Yeah, it's just the environment's not as good. So at a place like Dayton should be really fun for you. So Maggie, what are you doing next year?
I'm not playing basketball, but I'm going to attend the University of Cincinnati, and I plan to study finance.
Good. So I knew you had that big interview, so it's good to hear that went well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anything, Coach?
No, I think we covered it. Best of luck to you guys the rest of the way.
Thank you.
It's going to go quick, so just make sure you keep enjoying it and play as long as you can.
Yeah, enjoy every single one of them. So tomorrow at home against Westfall, correct? Mm-hmm. Where else this week? Thursday at Piketon?
Yeah.
Okay, so, and then, all right, you knew where it's at, right?
Yeah, Saturday at Pick Central we play Olentangy, and then we're back there again on Monday and play Harvest Prep.
So it's at Pick Central both?
I think so, right?
Yeah. Okay, so I might have got that right on overtime. We'll see tomorrow. But so if you want to watch these two and the Shermans play this week, Monday at home against Westfall, play a really good Piketon team at Piketon. They're going to come into the, more than likely, I don't think they have a league game, more than likely with 1 league loss. So a big SVC game on Thursday, and then Pick Central on Saturday and Monday. So we appreciate you guys coming in.
Thank you.
Best of luck the rest of the season. Stay healthy, and as Coach said, just enjoy every minute of it because everything does go by very quickly. So hang around with us. You are watching the Haynes Total Healthcare Coaches Call-In Show. We'll be right back with another in-studio guest.
Are you looking for the best deals on quality used trucks and cars?
Great news. Chillicothe Truck has what you're looking for.
Choose from a wide selection of makes and models. All vehicles undergo a detailed multi-point inspection and extensive reconditioning before hitting the lot. Our friendly team offers a no-pressure sales experience, ensuring you find the perfect vehicle to fit your needs. Plus, you can customize your ride with our extensive range of truck accessories, from bed covers to lift kits. Stop by 173 Rennick Avenue in Chillicothe or call us today at 740-773-8782 to get started right now.
Rathkamp Financial is a comprehensive financial services firm committed to helping our clients improve their long-term financial success. Our customized programs seek to grow, protect, and conserve our clients' wealth by delivering personalized service and expertise. Securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor, member, FINRA SIPC. Please call us at 740-775-1040 to schedule a consultation.
Wendy's has new chicken tenders. Crispy, juicy, tendery, tendies. Ooh, that's fun to say. Tendies, tendies, tendies. And they're so good, maybe we should change our... For tendies you're gonna know by name, gotta be Wendy's.
Welcome back into the Chillicothe Sports Card Studio. My name is John Bruce, along with Matt Hoops. I almost said Combs. I had Shane in here for like 3 hours earlier today, so we did a lot of talking. And so check out Overtime, presented by Perfection.
That's a good segue, John.
Yeah. Hey, there we go. Yeah. Now next to us is my fall Haynes-Stoll Healthcare Coaches call-in show co-host Jeff Miller. How you doing tonight, Coach?
Good. How you guys doing?
Oh, we're doing well.
I kind of like this new setup.
Yeah, you like being in
You
here,
have
so-
to.
Yeah.
Do you like the new studio?
Yeah. I really did. If we had a microwave, I don't know if I'd even go home tonight. We got a microwave in here. Fridge, couch.
There's a couch out
TV.
there. You're taking care
There's
of.
a couch out there. It's a lot colder in that room than this. Now, we did turn the heat up a little bit to make sure the entire Collins family
I don't know why
was-
we did that. They were self-heating. There was enough of them. We didn't need a heater.
Yeah, but that was one of the more entertaining segments. Like I think we had to stop like questioning Brandon Haynes, because like that's 2 weeks in a row he sent us people that were like, well, that's not really anything with the winter sports season, but like just really interesting, pretty cool people. So
yeah, and I didn't realize it till later. Who Austin Hill? Is that who his dad was, or who his uncle was, Joey Hill, who I graduated with. I think is his uncle at Adena. I was just trying to put those connections together, and I think his dad's Andy. And I didn't realize that I've known those people forever. But yeah,
it's pretty interesting people. So sorry, Coach, we'll get to you. We got like 4 minutes left to talk
Perfect.
to you. Yeah, so
That's perfect.
3 wins last week. We'll just we talked about Milee a lot last week, but can you just talk about like, have you ever had a player have a night like she had last night? 45, 25 in the first quarter.
No, I don't know. I don't know if I've ever seen it in hardly any game I've ever watched. And I've probably watched 20,000 basketball games. I don't know if I've ever seen anything like it. I mean, it was one of those things too that as it got going, I'm like, man, she's having a really, really nice game. And I looked up at one point and I kind of hollered at the bookkeeper. And I'm like, hey, what's she got? And she's like, 20. And I mean, I looked up and there was like 2 minutes left in the first quarter. I'm like, she's got 20. And the score was like 20-6. And I'm like, okay. Well, most of us have never been in that situation, you know what I mean? And I think she made like her first 9 shots. It was just, one of those games. I told Maya Hamilton's dad, he's like, Milee was in the zone. I was like, she was in the zone that most of us don't know exists.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's insane. I got a question. So she had 45 last night.
Mm-hmm.
So you just wanted her, she didn't want to let her break Combs' 45 points for the school record?
No, I told him we wouldn't allow that. No.
Yeah, and so she eclipsed Danelle Speakman, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we had talked about all these other girl basketball players last week. I can't believe we forgot to mention the one that's had
the record.
Yeah, another legendary player in the girls'
the
program.
most athletic of all of them.
Yeah,
she went and ran track at Cincinnati.
Right.
So, I mean, yeah, it's I get a text from one of our co-hosts here on the Haynes-Stoll Healthcare Coaches call-in show of Nick Barrows asking me like what the records were, and I was like, well, here's this, here's that one, and he goes, well, they're going down tonight. I'm like, all right, well. Yeah, it's very, very impressive. And can you just talk about what some of her teammates have done? Like what Maggie's done? Because I feel like if she was on her own, would be one of these players that she's definitely over 1,000 points. She's probably closing in like 1,500 if she's on her own. But instead, she's not going to get to 1,000 because she's such a selfish teammate or selfless teammate.
Selfless.
Yeah, and it is. It's tough. It's tough when you're coaching. I heard Matt mention earlier, when he was playing and playing with several 1,000-point scores. But as a coach, it's tough to look at kids and say, hey, listen, I know that you could be on this team, and you would be, a first-team all-league, first-team all-district, 1,200-point scorer, all-state type kid. But what I'm asking you to do is be this type of player, because if you're this type of player, this is what we need, and that's what will benefit our team most. And I think that's probably the largest compliment I can give all the kids that are in our program right now is I don't feel like we have any kids who put themselves above the team. It's more of what do I need to do to help this team, and like you said, Magnolia Holbert's a kid who if she's somewhere else, she's 1,000-point scorer, she's a first team all league, you're probably talking her in a player of the year type conversation. Yeah. but she also is very, very what do you want to say? Selfless, I guess, is probably the best word. And just wants what's best for the team. And obviously, her and Milee really for the last 3.5 years have had that same mentality, and they haven't lost a league game yet. So.
And that's what I was going to say. It just proves how important winning is. And we preach it as coaches, talking to these guys and girls about the importance of putting the team first, and individual awards are going to come with team success, which you want those kids to have too, because they have worked so hard for it. But I can say this, like we just celebrated Cole Cottrell getting to the Hall of Fame. He didn't even score 1,000 points in high school, but a lot of those guys came out to my house after the game and just kind of celebrated and talked about no one talked about anyone being all league or player of the year, 1,000 points or any of that stuff. All they talked about was the wins, the fun they had, and obviously that's what these girls they're buying into and they're doing, because the experiences that you've allowed them to have, taking them to all these different places and playing against all these top teams, those are the things they're going to remember.
Right.
And, I think it speaks volumes for Maggie and Milee, because let's face it, you talked last week, Milee could have scored however many points she wanted to.
Right. No, she really could. Yeah. Even last night, I didn't look at the stats, but I would say even last night she probably didn't take 25, 30 shots at most. You know what I mean? And there's kids that take that every night.
Right. And I think that that's so important, because there's so many people out there that they're missing the picture whenever they're thinking about different things other than winning.
Right.
And I just the amount of wins that you guys have and the unselfish players that you've had, you're doing it the right way, and that's the name of the game in my opinion.
Yeah, I completely agree. So it's you guys have another tough week coming up this week. So we're trying to figure out what we're going to talk to you about, but that's something good. So you guys have Westfall tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Then you have a really good Piketon team on Thursday, and then you get to go to the Classic in the city. Can you just kind of run down your week?
Yeah, like you said, we got a makeup game tomorrow night with Westfall at our place, and then 2 days. Turn around, go to Piketon, which, I don't know. It just seems Piketon's always a difficult place to play. And then you go down there and you're playing them. And Piketon's a really good team. Mm-hmm. They've got some really nice players. So we'll have our hands full that night. And then, it doesn't get any easier. We go up to Pick Central. We play Saturday. I think actually our game got moved to 10:30. We're going to play at noon, but one of the teams coming out of Canada got moved back. If you haven't looked at that schedule for this weekend, it's phenomenal. You're looking. I'm like, actually, at one point I looked at it and said like something CA, and I'm like, this team's out of California. Gee, many Chris, they're like, no, they're out of Canada, not Colorado.
Did your dad correct you? I bet your dad knows that schedule.
He knows it pretty well. He's already determined what games he needs to watch while he's there. But I tell you one thing that's kind of cool though is two of Milee's teammates that she plays with in the summer. Their high school's coming in to play. They play on the same team, Clarksville Christian out of Tennessee, 6'5", 6'2", both ranked top 10 in the country. So, and they're playing a team out of they're
not playing you guys.
No. we took a pass on that one.
Yeah. What the other thing I was going to ask you? Talking about all these games after this weekend, that's 16 games are already done.
Yeah.
You're looking at 6 regular season games left. I feel like the season just started, and I know we talk about this every year, how much faster each season goes. And I think that happens more so when you're winning. They go really fast. When you're losing, it takes a long time for the year to get over with.
I know this. I can remember exactly. We were playing Circleville. I think it was December 29th, and I looked, and I'm like, man, we played 12 games from the 29th till the end of January. We played 12 games. I'm like, hold on, that's going to be 20. We got 2 games left after that. That's it. So you're approaching the turn. And actually today was the first time I've even looked at the Max Prep's RPI ratings. You know what I mean? I'm like, well, I better start looking because we're 12, 13 games in. So
it's hard to believe.
Yeah, I guess the good thing is at least you'll have some time to scout, I guess.
Yeah, the crazy thing was with a lot of these schedules, and I don't know how many teams were able to finagle it, but everyone kind of had their schedule in laid out, and then when they changed the state tournament and went back to like a weekend for the Final Four, it bumped everything back. So at one point, we were going to have 16 days off from our last game of the regular season to our first tournament game. And We got kind of lucky, and the league, I think, adjusted, and we moved one back, and then we took a non-league game and moved it back so that we would at least have something in there. But, if teams didn't do that, gosh, I feel sorry for a team who has a 2.5-week break between their last game and tournament. I mean, I don't even know what, maybe play kickball in practice, or, I don't know what you do for 16 days. So
Go on vacation. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, that'd be a really good idea. That'd be a great idea.
Especially here in Ohio. So, Coach, we appreciate you coming in here on a Sunday night. We're glad that you were able to make it into the Chillicothe Sports Card Studio. We wish you the best of luck coming up this week, and I'm sure we'll see you at some games.
Okay. I'm gonna go hit the buffet in there. So
we should have had one. I think we talked about that before in the fall.
I did.
We should.
I did.
Yeah, we'll save that for the fall.
That was a hidden.
You're not going to save it for the fall. Then I don't get it.
That was a hidden.
No, it's going to be on Sundays.
We'll invite you in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
all right.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Hang right with us. We'll be right back. We'll have some coaches on for the Edward Jones Coaches Hotline. You're watching the Haynes Total Healthcare Coaches Call-In Show. Welcome back into the Haynes Total Healthcare Coaches Call-In Show, presented by Southern Ohio Sports Authority and Ohio Health. I believe we have our first coach of the night on the Edward Jones Coaches Hotline with Coach Andrew Day from Adena. How you doing tonight, Coach?
Coach, you there?
I am.
All right.
There
So
we go.
we missed our big introduction because Christian, who was getting mad at me for rushing him along, didn't have the phone ready. So how you doing tonight, Coach?
I'm doing well. How are you guys?
Oh, we're doing well. So pretty nice week for you guys last week. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, started off with Westfall on Tuesday. Dug ourselves a big hole in that game. They came out and played really well, and we didn't. And I think we got down by as many as 18 at one point in the third quarter. But I thought, to our kids' credit, we didn't give up. Didn't give in. I thought we kept fighting and just kind of clawing our way back until we took our first lead of the game with about 12 seconds to go. So,
oh my gosh, Coach, let me just stop you right there. I'm just trying to paint this picture in my head. Was that up there?
No, that was at home.
Oh, okay. Man.
At home. Yeah.
Probably a good thing.
So, no, yeah, well, yeah, for sure. But yeah, just didn't play very well. But, to their credit, they had some kids, really step up and do some really good things. So, but certainly it's easier to learn lessons and wins than it is losses. So, won that game on Tuesday, and then Friday, played Huntington, and was kind of the opposite story. We got off to a really good start. They were able to kind of battle back, and then we got off to got out to a big lead in the third quarter, and again they kind of came back, and then we were able to kind of spread it out at the end. But yeah, anytime you have a week with 2 wins and no losses, it's definitely helpful moving forward.
Yeah, and it's, just looking at the numbers that you sent me for the website, it's just Joey continues to be very good. Can you just talk about what all he helps your team do? Just because, it's not always just scoring some nights. Like he had the triple-double against Ross County Christian. It just feels like he's impacting the game in so many different ways.
Yeah, he is. And especially his passing right now. I don't know that was something he really excelled in prior to this year and even at the beginning of this year. But right now, I think the game's just slowing down for him, which is kind of funny to say because he plays at a pace that no one else plays at. But it's kind of slowing down, and he's just seeing the floor really, really well and finding open guys. And it's actually making his life easier as a scorer because, it's harder to load up on him defensively. So, and then rebounding, he's our leading rebounder. He is in the top 2 on steals and deflections. He impacts the game in so many ways. And he's certainly making a huge difference right now.
Yeah, one of the biggest things I notice about him is just how hard he plays. I mean, I know you just talked about the speed he plays at, but the kid plays just super, super hard, and I think that's just so contagious. When you see your best player giving that type of effort, it just lifts the whole team as a whole. And I know I'm not telling you anything you don't already know, but that's just one of the biggest things that I see every time that I've watched him play. It's his efforts at an all-time high, and I just feel like that just gets your guys going and has really been a key to the success that you guys have had, I think.
Yeah, it's 100% correct. And he does play so hard. And if you're a guy 5, 6, 7 in the rotation and you don't match that effort, you don't want to let that guy down just because he does play so hard and he's so competitive and he wants to win. And you want to, when he plays like that, you want to follow in his footsteps and give that same kind of effort. So, I think that's a huge reason why our team has had the success that we've had early on.
And it feels like another big reason is, the growth of Colton Garrison for you guys. I know you had the game-winning basket in that Westfall game, but it just feels like he's another one that can impact the game in a lot of different ways because he's one of those rare players that has good size, so he can go inside, but he can also bring the ball up, and I think that really helps you guys in a big way.
It does. We've said often that the most effective defender against Colton Garrison is Colton Garrison. When he starts to figure out just what he's capable of, I think you've seen the results of that the past several games. He's just playing with a different level of confidence and is really attacking and wants the ball in his hands, where I think maybe early in the season he was just kind of feeling those things out. But I mean, honestly, guys, I've never coached a kid with better footwork in the post. He just consistently finds ways to score because his footwork is so good. And to your point, he does a lot of different things for us. He brings the ball up at times, and guards, good players on the other team. He does a lot for us.
Do you think that one of the reasons maybe is the success not only that your team's had, that now he's midway through his junior year? You spoke on the confidence, but just the overall experience that he's had. That it's kind of just the switch is kind of flipped for him, and it's just almost natural. Like you said, if the other team puts their post on him, or you just have him bring the ball up the floor, and you have no problems with that, and that's a special type of player.
It is, and on a team where we've struggled to handle the ball against pressure at times, it's a really valuable weapon, because if you've got a big slow guy on your team, we can alleviate pressure just by getting the ball to Colton and allowing him to initiate offense. So, but yeah, I think to your point, I think there is a point, Matt, where at a certain point you've played enough varsity basketball that you just come to a place where you know what to expect, and you know what the speed of the game is like and the physicality. And I think Colton's hit that point, and he's just really playing with a different level of confidence.
Yeah, and that ultimately, really helps the team overall. Who else do you guys have that has really been making an impact? Because I know, after not a whole lot of wins this year, you guys are really putting together a nice start to the year.
Well, one guy that I want to talk about at every opportunity is Luke Preston.
Mm-hmm.
He's a guy that accepts the challenge of guarding the other team's best player every night. He guarded Frankie Hirsch the other night, who's a fantastic player, and held Frankie to 8. He's just a kid that he wants the challenge of being able to slow down a really, really good player. And so he's certainly been crucial to our success. I think especially over the past few games, Langston Metzger has kind of grown into his role a little bit, and kind of finding his way, playing off the bench a little bit, but has kind of steadied himself a little bit, and is taking care of the ball better, has knocked down some big shots for us. Clay Lowry is starting for us right now and does a good job of guarding the basketball, and then we got a couple other guys that have played some key minutes for us. Cooper Day is, my son is filling the role, and then Cade Sowers has had some big moments as well. So, I think it's been a matter of different guys stepping up at different times.
Yeah, and that's what ultimately is going to give you guys the most success, is that you have a variety of different people that can do it, and not just Joey and Colton, but those role players are doing a really good job for you guys and helping you guys get to those big wins that you've had throughout the year. So, Coach, we appreciate you taking some time with us.
Hey, I got to say this. Yeah. I just completely left Gavin Harold out.
Oh,
I was moving down the list of maybe the guys that don't get as much publicity, but obviously Gavin's our third leading scorer. He's one of our leaders in rebounds, and as a sophomore has really kind of stepped up into a bigger role than he's had in the past, and has done a really good job. But yeah,
that's another kid that plays really hard for you.
Yeah, he does. And like you said, I think it gets to a point where it's contagious, and you don't want to let the guys around you down. You don't want to be the guy that's, not playing hard when everybody else is. So yeah.
Yeah, you go down that list, and Coach Hoops just keeps saying, "Oh yeah, he plays really hard. He plays really hard," and that's
I just think
that's going to get you more wins.
I just think specifically those two. I mean, not that anyone else doesn't. Those two I just feel like their effort is maybe a notch above all 10 players on the court, and I just think that they just play so hard, and good things happen when you get guys playing like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so, Coach, once again, we appreciate you calling in, and we look forward to talking to you again further on down the season. So best of luck to you this week, and we hope to talk to you again soon.
All right. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Coach.
And of course, I get something in my throat at that same time, but Coach has done a great job this year. And then, as you mentioned, with some of these kids that are playing so hard, it makes it to where you can make those big comebacks in a game where you get down significant amounts.
Yeah, and like to his point, if you get it going early, you can put the put the game away,
right.
But you can you set the tone early, and you don't have to use all that energy coming back. I just think he's done a really good job. Obviously he did a great job with the girls program, and has transitioned to the boys program and continues to win. So great coach.
Yeah, and speaking of another outstanding coach, we have now on the Edward Jones Coaches Hotline from Eastern Brown, Coach Rob Beucler. How you doing tonight, Coach?
Hey, I'm good. Good.
Good. We appreciate you taking some time to come on with us, and we were able to see a pretty good contest down there on Tuesday when you guys took on Peebles. Can you just talk about a little bit of what your team's been able to do so far this season as you guys are out to a really good start?
Well, I think one of the biggest things this summer, we ended up finding out a little bit about ourselves, and we knew we had lost a good player going back home. But, the kids unified themselves and have played pretty well. We have a lot of kind of this theory that we discussed. We weren't relying on one or two guys. I mean, we have several kids that are all going to contribute and give some strengths to the team. We've got two seniors. One plays a good bit. The other had been injured most of the year. We've got a junior that's been hurt, the Florence kid. We hoping he can get back. But then we've got 5 or 6 other juniors that's playing real well.
Yeah, Coach. Obviously, I wasn't down at the game, but I rewatched it. That just talk about not only the game against Peebles, but
discussed. Well, the energy. They had a lot of energy. They were at home. We weren't doing some of the things that we discussed about on the scouting report. And then third quarter, we handled their press really well. We scored some easy baskets. I think somebody said we shot 80% the third quarter from the field, and we broke the press. And I look at the game, and I saw in the fourth quarter, we had built the lead, I think, 15. And then we ended up having a bunch of live ball turnovers, which those will kill you in a game of basketball.
Mm-hmm.
And they ended up scoring on them, and they came back and took the lead with, I think, 12 seconds or something, 13 left. And we discussed what we wanted to do and come down. I think sometimes kids, fatigue's a major factor sometimes, and we did have some kids that got tired. And I think that contributed to some of the turnovers. But this bunch is kind of fun to coach. They play hard. They try to do what we want. And, we're basically playing man-to-man. We'll try to mix it up and play some zones, some different principles. But we've got some size. We're getting better on the perimeter game some, so we take better shots. But just a lot of diversity.
Well, you mentioned that you have the 2 seniors. I know Braxton does a really nice job for you guys, but it felt like I thought Kane was really good throughout that game. I know he had that 2 or 3 minute stretch.
One stretch.
Yeah, where it got pretty tough. But can you just talk about his maturity after they finally took the lead back to just get, Sam a great look, and then obviously Sam knocks down that huge 3 for you guys.
Well, Kane ended up with 13 assists. And our record's 15. And we haven't had a kid with that many assists in a long time. And I know he brings a lot of energy. He's a big motor. He's finally starting to understand what we want out of the point guard. He's kind of the leader on the floor, him and Chase Pinkerton. They both trade off at that position, but he played extremely well. He handled it well. And then he got a little tired, and I think they speeded him up a little bit, and he had a couple 3 turnovers in a row. And we discussed that, but he took it there at the end, and he got the ball out of transition and took off and went down the floor and got a good handoff to Sam, and Sam ended up hitting the jump shot because Bo Johnson, I think he dropped below the dribble handoff instead of trying to ride the hip, and gave Sam time to go ahead and knock it down.
And that just says so much about your kids. You know, I know you've done this long enough, Coach, that when you have a lead like that, sometimes when you let it slip back away the other way, they don't handle that adversity as quickly as you'd like them to, but that wasn't the case that night.
And that's what we talked about. Somebody made a comment, said this bunch is, kind of handle that adversity. And I think that's what you try to do in the summer with some of the games you play where you travel. You see the different competition. You try to learn some things about yourself. And somebody made a comment when we called the timeout. He said, "You weren't chewing." I said, "No, there was no chewing about it." I said, "We had to say what we were going to do and take care of it and get the job done because you can't dwell on the past."
And anyone felt worse than those guys did. So there's no time to, no time to reflect on the past. You got to move forward. And obviously you guys did a great job of that.
And I was pleased with them. I told them, I said, you came back 3 times in that game. And that's kind of a sign of a good team. We just got to keep building. We try to improve every day and work at it and learn new things about ourselves and try to develop our game. We've done some changes in practices and stuff that we're doing, and we're still creatures of habit. We're going to practice what we try to do, but we're spending a lot of time. They're getting there early. They spend a lot of time shooting, and it's under time and different things, and they think that's helped a bunch. So, it helps their confidence and helps them play better. That's a good thing.
Yep.
Yeah, and it definitely, you can tell it has, because Carter Cluxton, I feel like shot really well for you guys, but in that second half, you had, Chase hit a big 3, Jace hit a 3 as well, and then obviously Sam's 3 was huge, but just having those different guys, and that's got to open things up a little bit, because Matthew Dick's been outstanding for you guys all season. Can you talk about what he's done? Because I saw him on the JV level, and it just seems like he's just mixed in perfectly for you guys at the varsity level.
Well, Matt's had a good summer, and he's decided he's wanting to go ahead and pursue a little, maybe in college. And I know Carter and Brax, we talk about it. Those are our 3 bigs. And we've got the Fobar kid's hurt, but Matt's come in. He's got good hands. He's gotten a little quicker. He's gotten a little stronger. He has a feel for the game, and he's also very smart. I mean, he can take some understanding when you tell him things, and he doesn't get upset about it. He's learning. Sometimes you have to challenge him to go harder, but he's been well in the post, and kids are starting to find him. And we've got some kids that are looking like Chase drives and gets to the basket real well and finds them occasionally. Kane does a good job with that now. And then you said Carter and Brax, both those kids have been shooting the ball pretty well from the perimeter. And we tell them, we still want an inside game out of both of you too. And that's what they give us.
Yeah, and it's nice to have that kind of balance on your team. That makes it a really tough matchup, even with a team that wants to play, as quick as Peoples. You guys adjusted to that really well, and that was, part of Kane in that third quarter was what was so impressive out of you guys that night.
Well, that we handled the press really well, and I thought, okay, now I said we're up 15. Let's keep, move the basketball. We got a little bit impatient. And that's where we want to learn and grow and get better as a team.
Yeah, and that'll happen throughout. And as you mentioned, only one senior that's really been able to contribute so far this year, with the other one being injured. But I feel like that's just going to continue throughout the year. So, Coach, we appreciate you taking some time here on Sunday to come on with us, and we wish you.
No problem. I enjoy talking about the kids. I don't think people realize what high school kids do with time.
Right.
Because, you're coaching 5-6 days a week. And in AAU, they're playing 2 days a week or 3 maybe, and practicing 1. So it's not near like AAU in the summer. So the dedication and the time, and I think the kids enjoy the fans. I know we enjoyed you guys. There were, C103, SOSA was there, a couple other radio stations. So, and this is kind of the memories they build.
Yeah, but that's one of the things we really appreciate about having the opportunity to do it, because we all played, we coached, and we know what it means, and we appreciate hearing that from you guys as well. So we look forward to seeing you guys again down the road, and we look forward to talking to you down the road as well.
I appreciate the call.
All right, thank you.
Good luck, Coach.
Hey, thank you. Have a good year.
You too. I think Carson said the other day, like 480 wins. I mean, and you could just tell why. It's one of the things I've really enjoyed about this show is you're talking to these veteran coaches, and you can just tell why they've been in it so long. They just get it.
Yeah, they get it. You don't do this for as long as these guys do it without understanding that it's about. Wins are huge, obviously, because it's the memories, and you want these kids to have great memories. And he's been doing it for so long, and been doing it the right way, and continues to do it the right way. And that's when you think of Eastern Brown basketball. That's obviously
exactly.
That's the thing you think of. You picture him, and been there forever, and doesn't seem like he's going anywhere anytime soon.
Yep, does a great job. So another coach that does a great job joining us now on the Edward Jones Coaches Hotline, Coach Stephen Ater from Chesapeake. How are you doing tonight, Coach?
Doing well. How are you guys?
Oh, we're doing well. It's always nice to talk to you. I know I saw you on Thursday down at Guy Academy, but always glad to have you on here. I felt like our last talk was really, really informative as well, but it's been a pretty good season for you guys so far. Can you talk about it a little bit?
Yeah, we're off to a 9-1 start. Had a big win over our rival Fairland on Monday night, and in front of just an electric atmosphere. You were there, got to see it and hear it and everything. I thought, it's just a neat experience for our kids, our communities. I said this afterward in the newspapers, but it's really like Duke, Carolina. I mean, everybody lives just a few miles apart. All the kids know each other. They play AAU together. They play pickup ball together over, different places. It's a neat rivalry. By halftime the JV game, it's filled up. It's hard to get a good seat. So just a great atmosphere, and appreciate our community and everything coming out and supporting us. And man, it was good. And then you kind of worry about going on the road to Gallipolis, a good young team, good size, and really good point guard, and being able to go in there and come out with a win, it wasn't easy. The final score looked, again, you saw that one, we had to work for that one. So, give them credit for that, and then give our kids credit for not having a letdown after a big win like that against Fairland.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. You play Fairland Monday night, 2 days to get ready, and you got to go on the road to, Guy Academy, which, we all know how teenagers' brains sometimes work. And, to your guys' credit, you go down there and you take care of business. Just can you talk about the maturity of your team, Coach, coming off such a great year last year, and then basically rolling that over to, like you said, 9-1 start this season?
Right. I think that's important. I mean, it's a very veteran team. Those guys have played a lot of basketball. It's funny even today in practice, like Philip Thacker, one of our 4-year seniors, who's, his freshman year, he got thrust into a position where, he had to play early. And, we were kind of going over some things that to work on, and some things that upcoming opponents will do. And he made a mention, like, didn't we do some of this our freshman year? And I was like, gosh, man, I don't know. It seemed like that was 100 years ago. But, I've been with these guys forever. It's great to have those reference points with those guys to say, man, you remember how hard things were when you were a freshman. Like, now it's just things that it's just easier. And just because of the many battles they've gone through. And there were some rough battles early. I mean, Philip and KK Perkins for us really as freshmen got thrust into starting roles, and both those guys had to learn on the fly. And then there were some bumps along the way. And that's high school basketball.
Part of it, yeah.
But those guys are awesome. I love getting to work with those guys, and seeing their growth and maturity has been just a blessing to see those guys, see where they are and how good of young men they are.
Well, and it's just, getting to even do the little short interviews with them after, because I was able to talk to Caden and, Carson after that game, and you can just tell they're really good young men, and you can just tell, like, they're well-spoken, they talk well about their teammates, and you can just see why there's a lot of success for you guys. And I kind of want to go back to Philip for a second. have you had, you've coached some really outstanding players at a couple of really good places. Have you had anyone that just really just gets it on the defensive end like Philip does? Because I just love watching him just go play defense.
That's a great question. And, I've had some really good defenders. Probably none with the athletic package that Philip brings. I mean, we feel like he's, we talk about offensive weapons. Philip's a defensive weapon that can chip in and score offensively as well, too. Takes pride in trying to do that. But, great motor athletically. He's going to put his body on you. He moves laterally well. And then, he's really becomes a much better rebounder. He had 8, I think, against Fairland. Had some big ones in the second half Thursday night as well. So he is a weapon for us and a true two-way guy.
Yeah, and then, just kind of another two-way guy. I was really impressed with what Maddox did because he defensively in that Fairland game, it felt like he really took it as a challenge. On top of the fact that he just had a monster offensive game as well. But can you just talk about what he's brought to you guys just overall?
Maddox, I think the thing that stands out when people watch him play is just that IQ for the game, that he's kind of playing chess when seeing the floor a couple paces ahead of other players. Not all players, but of most others. He's kind of anticipating he'll make some passes in practice or in a game where you're just like, man, like I was hoping he could get to that, but like, man, for him to find that pass as a junior right now, and he's been doing it really since I've seen him play growing up. And man, he has been, when he's taken on that defensive assignment as well and taken that in serious, I think, having him for different people statted differently. I mean, they had him as a triple-double in the Fairland game. Like, that's huge. I mean, just that complete game, and then that makes everybody better. When he's your leading scorer, and it makes he's also working on the defensive end. It's really easy for his teammates to get behind. He's not like he's going down on the other end defensively and hiding. He's got a guard, and another guy. I mean, I'll mention and kind of throw in there on the defensive side of things. You mentioned Philip Maddox, but John Cooper Barker in that Fairland game was really big for us, and a guy that doesn't always, he's not going to lead a lot of headlines for you. He's a guy that's out of all the experienced guys we have, he's really had to wait his turn. He played last year, was a regular on a rotation, but minutes were inconsistent. And for his emergence, he scored double figures in that game Monday versus Fairland. But he really took on guarding their shooter, Love Kid, and wanted to try to take him out of the game as best as possible. And you're not going to – it's tough to keep that kid off the scoring column completely, but he did a really good job in the second half that allowed us to push our lead.
Yeah, you mentioned him, and like the Love Kid, it felt like once he got past the volleyball line, he was in range. So the fact that John Cooper just shut him down and just didn't let him get the ball, I thought was huge for you guys to, inch the lead away in that game as well. So I'm glad that you mentioned him as well. So what do you guys have this week?
We've got Rock Hill tomorrow, league game, and then Thursday Portsmouth, who just obviously everybody knows knocked off Ironton on Thursday night. So both those teams, Rock Hill took Fairland to overtime on Thursday. So both those teams will come to our place, but coming in with some confidence for sure. And then we actually travel to Lucasville Valley on Saturday. So a big, non-conference game. They came to our place, beat us last year. Coach Tackett does a great job. You talk about a lot of experience. He's got all his guys back too. So that'll be a good one for us, and excited to get a good non-conference game like that in. And place obviously I coached at in the SOC for a long time. So but it's not a place that our kids know well.
Right.
So it's kind of a big gym for them to go play. It'll be a different environment for us to go somewhere unfamiliar. So that's kind of what you want to do. Kind of tune up for tournament time and play some of those good teams on the road and put your team in some situations where they can learn.
Yep, and we'll actually have the live stream for that game on Saturday, so I'll come say hey to you, and best of luck to you this week. And we appreciate you coming on here tonight, and really enjoy when we're able to talk at games or here on the Coaches Show.
Well, appreciate that, and thanks for having me on tonight, and look forward to seeing you again on Saturday.
All right, sounds good, Coach. Best of luck to you.
All right, thank you.
Good luck, Coach.
All right, appreciate it. Bye.
Yeah, and that's a team with a lot of different weapons, and that just makes them really hard. When your best players want to play defense, just how much better does that make your team?
Well, it's just easy. It's easier to coach. You know, what I mean, you don't have to constantly ask for. You know, that's a hard end to play on consistently. But when your best players will accept that challenge, it makes your team really good. And obviously, they're really good and have been really good, and they're doing it on both ends.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and that's just going to make them even better and more difficult to deal with. Speaking of a place that's pretty difficult to deal with so far this year, and joining us now on the Edward Jones Coaches Hotline from Portsmouth West is Coach Caleb McClanahan. How are you doing tonight, Coach?
I'm doing all right. How about you guys?
We're doing well. It's not as warm as it was on Friday, especially when we were in that gym with you guys. But just, it's been a nice start to the year. I know Friday was kind of a letdown on the scoreboard wise, but can you just talk about like what your team's been able to do so far this year and what's made it a pretty positive start on the West side?
Yeah, we've started the season 6-2 now. Like a couple games get away that we feel like we and both of them were at our place. We lost to Fairland by 2, and of course, South Webster got us by 5 there Friday. We opened up the season with a really good win at Warren, and we've knocked off some people since then. Had a big win against Valley at our place to open up league play, led by 3 seniors, and we got another one who's going to graduate early. So we kind of lump him in as a senior too, and Will Kegley, Logan McIntyre, Kristen Carrasco, and Corbin Miller. So we got a veteran team, experienced team. We've been working with these guys since they were 6th, 7th graders when we first showed up at Portsmouth West. So we really like what we have, and then we're off to a pretty good start.
So I'm guessing that means Corbin Miller is very intelligent if he's going to be graduating early. So, yeah, that's a tough one because he's got so much length and everything. But that's awesome to hear because that's what you're getting ready for is life. So, you mentioned 6 or just a few years there you've been on the West Side. It feels like it's been a big change over there because you look on the side and there's just not a whole lot of numbers on the banners, but it feels like playing West is a lot more of a challenge now than it was, and I think has a lot to say about what you guys have done getting that program set up in the right way.
Yeah, and when we showed up, we were really blessed. That was a COVID year, but we were really blessed to walk in to 9 seniors. And that really wanted to change the program. And that was the year, we won 18 games, won the first sectional title in 24, 25 years. And our big thing was, I'm from Gallia County. I'm a South Gallia grad. I didn't even really know where Portsmouth was or who Portsmouth West was or, what they were all about. But, I applied for a job. I got the itching to be a head coach and applied for the job and ended up getting it. And, when we first started, we just wanted, we wanted people to know that you're just not going to walk into Portsmouth West and it's not a guaranteed win. You're going to have to earn wins if you're going to come in here and beat us.
Coach, I know you guys are 6-2, so eight games
6-2.
That's a lot of games left and not a lot of time. Kind of, what do you guys have coming up, and what have you guys been doing to prepare for all these games and the next month and a half?
Yeah, we had a couple that we were supposed to play in that Shawnee State Classic showcase, and had another game that we had to move to the end of the year. So we really should be about 10 games in. But this coming week, we got a 4-game week. We play Hillsborough tomorrow at our place. That's the makeup game that we were supposed to play at Shawnee. They're going to come to us, and then we have Point Pleasant coming in on Tuesday. A really big league game over at Willersburg on Friday, and then we play at Portsmouth. We're playing in that classic, and we play Ironton that next day.
So 4 games this week.
Yeah, 4 games this week.
That'll get you back on schedule.
Yep, it'll get us caught up quick, and we got a stretch coming up where we've played quite a few home games so far, and we got a stretch coming up where we go to Willersburg. We have that Ironton Classic, then we're at Valley, at Waverly, at Raceland. So we got a tough stretch coming up that
brutal.
We're going to learn a lot about ourselves real quick.
Yeah, and then we've talked to the different coaches in your league about just how talented the league is as a whole. And so then you have to make up some games against like Hillsboro's got one of the best scorers in the area. I know record-wise, you just got to ignore that. But then Ironton's out to a great start as well. And then I know you mentioned Raceland. So, I mean, you're playing some really good teams in the non-conference too. So how prepared has your guys' schedule gotten you guys to even be ready for this next run of games?
Yeah, I ever since I've started, they kind of let me do the scheduling at West, and I've always wanted to go out and try to prove ourselves and be a team and a coach that we will go out and play people. We played Fairland most years I've been there. Like I said, we went and played Warren, we played Jackson. We played a lot of big time schools, and in my eyes, I'm always trying to prep us as much as I can, before we get to that tournament. And what our league brings every single year. And I just think playing those tougher teams or those guys that have been there before, and I think that's just the best way to prep our kids.
Yeah, and then you mentioned having a pretty experienced team. That 1-3-1 you guys play is just phenomenal. It's going to give you a chance in a lot of games. Can you talk about like just what Will's been able to do like at the top of that, and what just overall what Will Kegley's been for West basketball?
Yeah, Will's been outstanding. I mean, he's didn't get to play time as a freshman, but he's always been with us. He dressed with the varsity, practiced with the varsity. Started to get more run as a sophomore, and I think last year he really took off, where he started averaging 16, 17 points a game. I believe he's up to about 23 a game right now. But like I've told everybody, he deserves everything he gets, because there's no one that works harder than the kid. An awesome personality, awesome leader. But he can score at every level. He can, take you to the basket. He can post you up. His best game is probably in the mid-range area. His three ball's really starting to fall. And then, you put him at the top of that defense where he can get deflections. And when we get steals and deflections, he's the man. He's usually the first one up the floor. And he's 6'3", can jump out of the gym and finish at the rim. So, he's definitely a weapon up top.
Yeah, he's been outstanding, and you mentioned really good personality. He's a good kid to talk to whenever we get a chance as well. So, Coach, we appreciate you taking some time with us here on a Sunday night, and the best of luck this week. I know it's a busy week for you, so we really appreciate you taking time with us here on Sunday. So, best of luck to you coming up, and we hope to hear from you again soon.
Yeah, well, thank you. We appreciate everything you guys do. Coming down to the gym there, for that Southwestern game, it was a big deal, and just made that environment even better. So we really appreciate everything you guys do up there.
Thank you, Coach. We will see you again soon.
All right, thank you guys.
Take care.
Well, and that's just, it's a place where, you never really heard it with West basketball. So you look on the sectionals, they had won it in like 85, 98, and I think it was like 2021. So his first year, and it's just when you're able to come in and impact a program in a big way, it says a lot.
One of the things that caught me off guard a little bit was, and I don't think I realized this, was you don't really find a program that has 9 seniors like he talked about the first year he came into. Like that kind of caught me off guard a little bit, because usually, let's face it, it's 3, 4, 5 usually survive it, but 9, that was a lot.
Well, and then when you're having a turnover in coaching,
right, that too,
because usually no one's going to leave with 9 seniors coming up. So,
right. Yep. True.
Now joining us on the Edward Jones Coaches Hotline from Portsmouth Clay, Coach Drew Emnett. How you doing tonight, Coach?
Just fine. How are you guys this evening?
Oh, we're doing well, and we're in a way, I'll kind of tie this together. Coach McClanahan talked about his first year having 9 seniors. This year, how many players do you have on your roster?
We have 6. 6 total on our roster and 1 senior.
Yeah, so 6 total on the roster, 1 senior, and off to an 11-2 start, correct?
Correct, yeah.
That's
and
awesome.
Last night we had one that had a death in the family, and we played with 5 last night.
Wow. So
So you're getting close to using the line from Hoosiers that your team's on the floor, right, Coach?
We actually joked about that before the game last night. We were like, if somebody plays bad, we'll just have to say, there's our team on the floor.
So, so that's been one of my favorite things about kind of following what you guys have done is it's been kind of a pretty nice turnaround over the last couple of years and just seeing the roster size. And I feel like you've done a really good job of making sure everyone has some sort of role on the team because – if not, you could easily lose it and then not be able to play. So can you talk about obviously Sophia's, Kraft has been really good for you guys. Can you just talk about what she's done for you guys for the last 4 years?
Sophia, I started with Sophia in junior high. She's a great kid. She does everything you ask her to do. I kind of had a plan for her growth, and she's worked at it and been right along. I mean, I don't know the exact numbers, but she averaged 3 or 4 freshman year and 7 or 8 or junior or sophomore year and 15 last year and up around 17 this year. You can just see her growth, her vision on the court. She's learned to handle the ball better. She can step outside and shoot it and stretch the defense. Her growth and what she's come along in the last 6 years really is just, it's really been fun to watch. That's kind of why I do this, just to be able to see that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's a great point, Coach. I have a question in terms of preparation for game with only having 6. How do you guys set up practices to where you can prepare? Obviously, I know it's a small to whole, group instruction where you can take things down and break them down into small groups and then into large one. With only 6 kids, that's hard to do. How do you guys set up your practices and prepare for each game?
Well, before this year, it was very, very hard, but they do have that new rule OHSA passed. If you don't have 10 varsity players, you can get a waiver to practice your junior high. And I have a large junior high with very skilled players and some size in the junior high, and that has tremendously helped us this year. I mean, it's still, you got to be careful. You don't get kids hurt and all that, but it's helped us a ton. Before now, it was very hard. We just tried to simulate small groups and areas. We like 3, we're going to do it this way on this side and just tried to work on small groups, but it was really tough.
Right.
It really was.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was actually on my list of things to ask was kind of how practices work, but and that's just going to help the junior high as a whole too, because you're getting to play against every day against some really talented players as well. So one of those talented players is your daughter Emma. She's been she had 30 last night in that win. So she's been outstanding as well.
Yeah.
Can you just talk about her growth as well?
I told her this year we needed her to take a little step. To maybe so we could compete against the Notre Dames and some of those schools and New Boston. We went into New Boston and I think she had, I don't remember, 13 or 14. But last year in that game, she'd had 5 and we'd have lost. Mm-hmm. So she's taking that step a little more, she didn't shoot it well there, but she still found a way to get into double digits and help us out. And she takes care of the basketball. She's hard to pressure, but she's really grown a lot the last few years, and it's fun to watch. She's like a coach on the floor. She can see some things and let you know some things you can't even see or maybe you don't even think about.
Yeah, that's a huge advantage to have. So you mentioned Notre Dame. So I don't know if you know exactly. Do you know when the last time Clay beat Notre Dame before this week?
I do not. One of the school board members asked me the same thing, and I haven't had a chance to look. I don't even know if we have the records to go back that far, but we kind of figured out it had been at least 12 years and maybe 15 since we had won at Notre Dame. But we don't, that's nothing official. That's just, talk.
Yeah,
but it's been a while, I can tell you that.
And do you think the last time that Clay beat Notre Dame that they scored 0 in the first quarter?
I don't know if you can ever win a game doing that. I mean, we had all kinds of shots, and they just would not go. They wouldn't go in. We were open. We got good shots. They just wouldn't go in.
So what is that?
That's a testament to the girls.
Yeah, that was going to be my next thing. Was how much does that just show what those girls' growth has been over the last few years to be able to have the worst offensive start that you can have, and you still bounce back and get a gigantic win.
It goes back to this core group. I mean, this core group was the group we played when we had 5 and we had 4 and had to get somebody out of the hallway to finish the season. And I mean, they've been through a lot of things, a lot of hard things. So, they told me, they were like, we didn't panic. It really isn't that big a deal. It's just, we just got to go work, do what we're supposed to do and it'll work out. It's just basketball. There's a lot of things that come in life, but if you work hard and put in the work, good things will happen. And I think it's finally starting to happen for this group, and that's been really fun to see.
Yeah, and it's one of those really cool things. And I'll just throw this out there just as our show goes. Like our next coach is Coach Morrow from Jackson. So, I mean, going from he's played pretty much the same people over the last few years, but going from one of the smallest schools to one of the biggest is pretty fun. But it's awesome to hear what you guys have done and the growth of what they have done as teams. Can you talk about a couple more of your players, just kind of just to get you off to this start?
Yeah, Ava Demarest. Ava is probably the most talented athletic kid on the team, and she's just grown so much over the last year. Her assists are up, and I want her to drive to the hole more. She's getting to the free throw line more. She's doing everything we ask her to do. She's been better on her defense. And then Maddie Phoenix, she decided she wanted to be a rebounder this year. She decided to she's averaging double digits in rebounds. She leads the team. That's really good. I think she ended up with third last year on the team with the same group. She's leading this year. Mia Lunsford, she plays anywhere. Like last night, Kraft was going and they decided to press us. She had to go to the front of the press and help with that. She never even practiced up there a day. I mean, so she went from a forward position to a guard position, and she did really well. And then Caroline Ridenauer. Caroline has been one of the core group. She's there, waits all the time. She does anything we ask her to do. She probably knows our system and what we do better than anybody else. She does whatever we need. She sets screens. She takes the ball. And, she's actually got a lot better. You can't leave her alone from 12 feet anymore. She can hit that shot 12, 14 feet. And it's just been fun. I think some of those kids have got to grow and get better with, if there were a place where there was 15 kids on the roster, I'm not sure they even got the same opportunities. And it's been really kind of fun to see and be a part of.
Yeah, that is very true, because you take advantage of those opportunities that are there, and sometimes at that small school you're able to do so. So, Coach, we appreciate you taking some time here on a Sunday night to take our call and to come on to the show, and loved hearing from you, and we wish you the best of luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you. We appreciate what you guys do, and congratulations on all the new studio and everything, and we'll see you here the rest of the season.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
Goodbye.
It was kind of like that day I sent you the picture of the school and be like, hey, this is the whole high school. Like, what do you got? And you sent me just an insane amount more kids. It's just the school size difference, but also making the most of what you have. It says a lot.
Hey, Coach Christian.
I'm just kind of speechless in terms of, 6 kids in the whole program, and like, you would just be on probably pins and needles in terms of hoping that health is on your side, because one or two they get sick, you're either rescheduling games or you're having to move things around. But just the practice part of it, and I had no idea about the new rule from the OHSA, which is obviously a good rule, but it would be just really difficult, and obviously they're making the most of it.
Yeah, 100%. So now joining us on the Edward Jones Coaches Hotline from Jackson High School, Coach Max Morrow. How you doing tonight, Coach?
Good. How are you guys?
We're doing well. It's a wonderful night here in, I was going to say sunny Chillicothe, but then I remembered it's 8:40. I've been in here since 2 p.m. So, Coach, out to a really nice start on the season. Obviously you have a really experienced group. Can you kind of talk a little bit about what has made this start go so well for you so far?
Yeah, like you mentioned right there, we have an experienced group. I got 6 seniors and 2 juniors in the 8-man rotation, with, a lot of people in today's high school sports have to play sophomores or even freshmen, and sometimes they're ready and sometimes they're not, depending who they are. But it's a fun group. They've been with me. The senior group has really been there since day one of practice 4 years ago when they stepped foot in the high school, kind of out of necessity. And they know what to expect each and every day. They come into practice prepared. They've gotten a lot better at watching game film. I think that's a sign of a mature team. They come in and talk about what they see, and that's kind of the big thing that we've got into this year. My players will come in and say, Coach, I really see this. I think this will work, and that's something that as a freshman and sophomore, they never did. They were just trying to learn and get the feel, the speed of the game at the varsity level and just kind of keep their head above water. So that's kind of been a reason for our quick start. And, we've got some fortunate games where we've, played teams at the right time. Maybe you could say that, or, we just had a win over Unioto, and I would be the first one to say they're a very good basketball team coached by Matt Combs and very, one of the best around. But don't think I don't remember Coach Hoops leaving that cupboard too bare for him. But, I
was just tired of losing to Jackson.
Very well. Yeah, funny. But it's pretty obvious to say we played well that night. They didn't play their best game, and obviously that could switch if we played again. So
I think
we're fortunate to be sitting at 9-1, and we're happy to have it.
Coach, what I noticed mostly about that game, I wasn't there. I rewatched it, but man, just the kind of the demeanor and the mindset that your guys came out with that game in front of a really, really nice crowd. Had to be fun to watch as a coach. We've all been there where you watch these kids grow up basically right before your eyes as freshmen out there just trying to survive, and then to have that mindset and mentality that they took the court with that night, just to see that is always nice.
Yeah, and one thing that you just touched on there, what a crowd it was. And this is year 11 up there at Jackson High School as the varsity coach, and I think a lot of the people that's all I heard the next few days after was, I don't know that there's been a bigger crowd for a regular season basketball game up there on that hill since the new school was built in the 04-05 season. So Unioto, we know they travel well. I mean, they care about all sports and especially basketball, and they brought a great crowd, and we brought a great crowd that night. It was just, those type of moments are great for high school sports. That's what they're meant to be. Good, fun competition. Obviously one team's going to win, one team's going to lose, but what an atmosphere it was and what an environment to play in for those young men.
Yeah, I feel like this year I've seen more and more of those better environments than we hadn't seen for the last few years. And I think you're seeing better basketball being played because of it, because the kids are just, using it and using their momentum off of it well. And I could see how your kids would do it as well. And you've had so many kids that have played in big games across sports. We've talked about that before, but can you talk about I'll just use like a CJ Crabtree. Everything I've heard is just he's been outstanding so far for you this year. Can you just talk about what he's done as a junior to really help you guys out?
Yeah, obviously going even back to last year, I thought he was going to be I kind of portrayed him as a starter as a sophomore, going to be a big part of what we do. He got injured in football season and kind of was late arriving and never really, he had some back issues and never really got to full swing last year. And this year he's been a total revelation. He's definitely, kind of came into his own. He's used to playing with this group of seniors that have played, a lot of these kids that, grow up, you're playing third grade with the third graders and fourth grade and so on. So this group that I have as seniors, they played together from Pee Wee all the way up through, and he has stepped in nicely and really showed a lot of maturity and growth over the last few games. Especially the Unioto game. I mean, he really came alive that game. He played great against Alexander. He had one of the Jackson Ironmen probably count on one hand how many dunks we've had in our school history, and he has one of them just the other, a week ago. So he told me that gave him a lot of confidence, and I said, man, what are you waiting on? You should have done that game one if that's what you needed for confidence. But he's really just came into his own and understanding his role and kind of filling it very very well for us right now. So,
Coach, one of the things with CJ is, he, like you've said, he's been around it his freshman year, sophomore year, a little bit of injury, but he's been around it. And I just talked to Coach Day about the Garrison kid, who's also a huge part of Adena's success right now. I think it just comes a time where, they kind of just forget about what grade they're in and they just start playing to their ability. And I think that's one thing that he's done this year.
Absolutely. I think you're exactly right on that. Obviously when you're a freshman and sophomore, little mistakes may bother you and really hurt your play throughout the game because you're trying to be perfect. And
Trying to prove yourself.
You're coming off the bench. You're coming off the bench anyways. You're proving yourself with the older, upperclassmen. And now it's just like, hey, you're going to make a mistake. We can't make 3 and 4 mistakes in a row, but make a mistake, get back on defense, fix the mistake, and let's go make a positive play. And he's definitely been able to do that for us, along with Dayton Counter off our bench too, as the other junior that has really gave us a good spark and energy, along with our 5 senior starters that we've had that have been playing and starting for many years.
Well, let's go to one of those, and we talk about Ryan, we talk about Bodie. Obviously, we've talked about Steven and Charlie, but I feel like Jax has really grown. Jax Carroll, I thought he was outstanding in that Unioto game as well. And, he's been undersized, but it feels like it's never been a thing to him to be undersized. So can you just talk about like his growth as a player?
Well, as far as anybody in our starting lineup, obviously I'm the one that is really exceeded the expectation is Jax Carroll this year. He's really stepped up and when the cliche term, we're waiting and he'll play like a senior. Well, he's playing like a senior this year, and he has been a steady, just calming factor for our team, where at times he wasn't. He always thought if he wasn't hitting threes, he wasn't doing his job. And this year, we keep going back to that game, but Unioto, he had 3 driving baskets, finishes at the rim, and didn't hit a 3 that night. But it hasn't affected in years past when he was younger. I always felt like if he didn't hit a 3, his defense would kind of go down a little bit. He was always in his head. Now it's just he's letting the game come to him, and he has really stepped up for us, and we need him to. He's definitely a guy that has to get in double figures for us to be successful, and he's really, really pleased with how he's playing, and he's playing in a big way right now.
Yeah, so it's been impressive, and we went back to that game a lot, but you got a big week ahead. Can you talk about just how difficult this week is going to be, even though at least you get to be at home, but a really difficult week here coming up for the Ironman.
Yeah, right after our win against Hillsborough this past Friday night, we talked about, I was proud of them. We kind of had a bad first half and really, played better in the second half to, secure a win. And obviously we always talk about, you got to win league games at home, protect your home court. And we did that. And, now I told him, this is over. Let's enjoy it. We'll give you Saturday off. We got in the gym and practice today, and we'll go again Monday. But the week ahead, we have Wheelersburg, who is undefeated. Really, really good basketball team. I've watched them live twice, and they really just don't have too many faults. They are fast. They have 6-guy rotation, and they can go 7 if they want to. And of those 6 guys that they're rotating in and out, they all 6 of them can rip it and get to the rim. They can all dribble, shoot, and pass. They're not a very big team, so we match up well with size. But sometimes that quickness is an issue, and they definitely are going to be a problem. And then you come right back on Friday night with another big FAC game against Chillicothe, who is, if you look on paper, they are so athletic. And I know Coach Bartriff just talked about this with you guys last week, how athletic they are and how long and, great athletes they are. It really can give us mismatches, with our defensive, responsibilities. But, those 2 teams are going to be a tough task. And then it doesn't get any easier the next week. The next week we're at Washington Courthouse on Tuesday, and then home against Miami Trace. So this 4-game stretch here is going to be a brutal, brutal stretch for the Ironman.
I hope you get a lot of sleep over this next 2-week stretch, Coach.
Well, I heard you guys talking before. I'm just hoping I don't get sick or somebody gets sick. I mean, my 8th grade son has been battling the flu all weekend, so we've quarantined him to the basement. So I'm trying to do what I can to stay healthy and not bring it around my guys because they are far more important than me at this point.
Yeah, but you're right though. I mean that's what's so tough about this time of year. You never know when something like this is going to hit. I know David Long from Unioto had to miss the other day because he was he got sick and just couldn't go, and that's just part of it. But obviously love talking to you, Coach, and wish you nothing but the best of luck these next 4 games and for the rest of the season. You're doing a great job and keep it up.
I appreciate it. Yeah, these next 4 games, we'll need some luck on our side. There's some good heavy hitters over the next 4, but we appreciate it, and thanks for having me on.
All right. Good
luck, Coach.
We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just talked, we did overtime before this, and that was one of the things we talked about. I pulled up their schedule and went, oh. I'm like.
You'd be hard-pressed to find a tougher 4-game stretch for probably anyone.
Yeah.
I mean, that's.
Yeah. It's a heck of a run for them.
I mean, that's probably there's probably you can't count the total number of losses on one hand for if you add all 4 of those teams up.
No, you can't. So now joining us on the Edward Jones Coaches Hotline from Piketon, Coach Jason Taylor. How you doing tonight, Coach?
Great. How you doing, guys?
We're doing well. All right. We appreciate you coming on a little bit later than what we had talked about, but we had a couple of longer ones early, so we appreciate you coming on with us. So season's off to a pretty nice start, 10-3. Can you talk about your season a little bit for us?
Well, we upped our non-league with Portsmouth West, Logan Elm, we got McClanahan, and of course, league schedule is always tough. And the 3 games we've lost in the Unioto, Logan Elm, and Portsmouth West, who are all doing very well. So it's off to a good start. Yes.
Yeah, and it's when you say those schools, I mean, West probably has probably one less loss if it wasn't dealing with injuries, and Unioto had a loss partially because of injury, and and Logan Elm lost because they played a 6'2" girl that just absolutely dominated for 40 points. So I mean, you're playing teams that haven't lost a whole lot of games, and it's some really talented teams. So that had to have gotten you ready for this really nice start.
Yes, it has. I mean, we don't have a lot of height, and every team we seem to play has height. And that's been our downfall so far is battling inside. But our girls have made a lot of adjusted defensively, and it's off, and we're having fun.
Coach, can you just talk about? I mean, a lot of times you got to talk about handling adversity, but also you got to learn how to handle success too. Talk about your girls and their demeanor with a 10-3 start to start the season.
Yeah, sometimes you struggle scoring the ball, and we tell them, listen, you win games with defense. And everything translates. Coach Tom said it best the other day. We can't press if we don't put the ball in the basket. Best comes off that press. So, that's one thing we focus on is digging in defensively and then translating that into offense.
That's one of the things that I always tried to instill in our guys when we would ever face a team that would like to press us, and it was more of a defensive philosophy. And I'd always say, guys, they can't get into that pressure if you'll play great defense. So, that kind of goes both ways, I think.
Yes, it does. And again, last few games, teams have packed it in on zones. We've worked nonstop trying to break zones, and the shots right now, they're not completely falling, but Maddie Hale, Reese Shanks made a couple big threes the other night against Southeastern, stretched the defense a little bit, gave us the lead, and let us pick them apart there.
Yeah, and it's you've got to make shots to beat those zones, and you mentioned size and that Southeastern, and I think maybe people looked at their record, but I mean, really, you have to think of their situation with one of the Ruckles being out. But man, that's a team that's much better than their record, and I didn't care what the score was. You guys pulling out a win that night, said a lot about your guys' maturity and growth as a team as well.
Absolutely. I mean, those two, Rowan and Reese, they're great kids. They practice their skill inside so much, and I finally got our girls to understand. Even if they get the rebound over you, don't foul them on the putback. It puts us in foul trouble. We didn't do that the other night. I felt like our constant pressure just wore them down in the end.
Yeah, and that's one of the big things is when you have some really good athletes. You mentioned Maddie and her ability to stretch the floor. Reese, every time I've seen you guys so far this year, Reese has been really good. But can you talk about what like Layla and Jalen have done for you guys? Because I know they've been a big part of the program over the last 3 years.
Oh, they just lead by example. I mean, every day they're in the gym early, getting shots up. Everybody just follows along with them. They got a motor that don't stop, and that just drives everybody else and just shows them that basketball is a sport where if you don't practice a lot, you're going to have a hard time with it. And they do a great job of leading by example.
Yeah, and then obviously with not having a whole lot of seniors, is it 2 seniors?
We have 2 seniors, yes.
Okay, so without having a whole lot of seniors, you have to rely on those juniors to lead by example. So that's a great thing to hear. So whenever you guys are, one of the things you didn't even say in the schedule was Waverly. I mean, they're 11-2 at this point, and
sorry.
yeah.
I texted Coach John and Coach Mark Hanna after their win over West and congratulated them. Yeah, so thank you.
Yeah, I mean, it's just that just to me, with what you guys did to them that night and with how good they've been lately, I mean, I think says so much about where both of you guys are as a staff. So really good win to start the year. But can you just talk about what you guys have done offensively? Has Reese really been able to kind of help you guys grow as a team overall?
Yeah, she gives us that third option of dribble penetration, able to knock down the outside shot. And defensively, we ask her to guard the other girls' team's, best point guard. And we switch Layla back and forth to save her legs. But she does everything. She's one of those kids that's, unselfish. She's willing to put her nose in there, and she's tough as nails. I mean, she landed the other night, got undercut a little bit, twisted her ankle. About 2 minutes later, she was beside me. He's like, "I'm ready." I said, "Okay, good." So she's no bigger than she is. She gives you everything she's got.
Yeah, and that's something you need that's going to run that kind of lead guard position and help where Layla can focus a little bit more on scoring, but also it's nice to have a variety of ball handlers as well.
Oh, anytime you play a game, if you got to have one or the other. You got to have a big, or you got to have guards who can get the ball in the right spot. And we're blessed to have 3 great guards that can distribute the ball, make great decisions, and it makes our job a little easier. Yes.
Yeah. So, Coach, what do you guys? I know you got a tough one on Thursday. What else do you have this week?
We have, of course, Unioto Thursday. Yeah. We have at home Saturday. That's a tough matchup for us. Coach Uri does a great job over there. Osworth's a special talent. We'll do everything we can to take away their strengths and hopefully we can see what we can do this week.
All right, Coach. Well, we appreciate you coming on so late as well and hanging around with us. Best of luck to you this week. Stay healthy. And
well, you've been there 2 o'clock, so I mean, you put in a long day already. So
yeah, it's. I
don't let him try to make you feel sorry for him, Coach. He's fine.
Hey, I get to edit the overtime show after this as well. So I mean, that's
perfect. Yeah, edit that right in there.
Yeah. So. Hopefully it'll go pretty quickly, but hey, it's whatever. Part of the fun of doing this on Sunday is getting to just relax and talk to coaches. Yeah. So that Christian's got to do the hard work.
I mean, it was like all of a sudden I'm like, oh, Shane Combs had to remind me, and I'm like, oh, that's right.
Yeah. So we appreciate you coming on, and I know. We're going to try to get down to the McLean game. I think that's our goal right now is to be able to see you guys down there as well. So best of luck to you this week. Stay healthy, and we appreciate the call.
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Good to talk to you, Coach.
Thank you, Coach.
You too. All right, bye.
Bye.
Yeah, and that's one of the really good guys that you talk to, and they've he upped the schedule, and when you don't even mention the 11-2 team,
right?
Like that's just.
I mean, he upped the schedule and. He's winning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he just, he's been around for a long time, knows how this works. And, he's got some really good players and he's putting them in a really good position to be successful. And, the tough week this week, obviously, but, I think they'll be prepared for it.
Yeah, and they were one of the better. They were one of the teams that really competed well with like a Portsmouth last year because, and I think he saw that and went like, we're going to up the schedule. We got this really good junior group, and it's right now it's paying off. So looking forward to seeing how they do as well. So I think we're finished with our cadre of coaches that we're going to call in tonight, or Christian was going to call actually, because we probably need to change that name, like just the coaches show or something. I know, because we're not calling it. They're not calling in anymore. Like you're happy. You should be happy about that for the fall.
I'm lost. What do you mean?
He calls them. Christian calls them.
Oh yeah. Well, it's still you're still talking to him on the phone. So you got it. What else would you say?
I don't know.
Let's just leave it.
All right, so we could ask the Haynes Total Healthcare on what their thoughts on that. But man,
we don't need to ask Brandon anything else. He already dictates a whole lot.
Yes.
And we're thankful for that.
Yes.
Which it gave us a new experience tonight by having a family of 10.
Yes.
A party of 10.
Yes.
In the.
I didn't. When you said a party of, that's gonna make like when they go to Olive Garden. And you're like, oh, party of 10.
Collins,
it's a big.
Must be a couple families.
Yeah,
nope, just one.
But man, they were great.
Yeah.
Their kids were outstanding as well. So I mean, it was just that was a fun thing. This is a fun show because we got to have Maggie and Maggie.
And well, that's what Maggie gets for messing up Kiera's name.
Yeah, and then Coach
Miller's always good.
And then some outstanding coaching interviews as well. So we got to talk to 8 coaches. If you didn't hear any of them, the timestamps will be up shortly, and we appreciate our Christian Spradlin for producing everything tonight. Next week's show will actually start at 8 as opposed to 7, so it will be an 8 o'clock start instead of 7. You're welcome for telling you now instead of you showing up here at. I'll talk about it off the air, but yeah, so we'll have at least one guest in here, and then we'll have another 6 to 8 coaches next week calling in. The good thing is we've got a holiday on that Monday, so
yes, we do.
We might just see some people who want to come from wherever. We're not going to do that, but maybe they could if they
that would be the night to do it.
Yeah, that would be the night to do it. So for Christian Spradlin and Coach Matt Hoops, I'm John Bruce. You've been watching the Haynes Total Healthcare Coaches Calling Show. Have a great rest of your week.